There's only 5 male individuals who have ever qualified for the games. We've got such an important role, I think, to play as being a gladiator. I absolutely love it, and I'm really passionate about property. You're investing in an asset that's appreciating over the years, but then you also get a decent cash flow as well. My dad, he bought a 2-bed flat and a warehouse, converted it into 8 flats.
Why did you choose me of all the property educators out there?
I found you on YouTube, just liked your style, just love how honest you were about certain things. Everything I do and all the money I make is always geared towards putting it into property. Make your money, property. Make your money, property.
Zack George, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Absolute pleasure.
You've been blowing up, not just what you've been doing with your success, but also your physicality has been blowing up the last sort of year or so as well.
Yeah, I'm 10 kilos heavier than when I last competed.
Now, we worked out together, which was a real honour because you were voted in 2020 as Britain's fittest man.
Yeah, so I'll give you a breakdown of how I achieved that. So I don't know if you know about the sport CrossFit.
Yeah, of course.
It's all about weightlifting, gymnastics, swimming, running. It's basically trying to find the ultimate athlete. And there's a process called the Open, which they get one workout released every week for 5 weeks. And say there's 300,000 people who do that workout. If you come first, you get 1 point. If you come 300,000, you get 300,000 points. At the end of the 5 weeks, whoever's got the lowest amount of points would win the Open. So within the UK, I think there was about 15,000 people in the UK entered. And I was first out of the 5 weeks out of that 15,000.
The thing is, I didn't enter, that's why.
I know, which was good, because if you would have entered...
Yeah, then you might have gone second.
It would have been a lot tougher.
But that is absolutely huge, though. And you used to be fat.
I used to be really overweight.
And get picked on, bullied.
Yeah, I was extremely self-conscious. I used to hate taking my top off anywhere. I would skip swimming lessons because I was so embarrassed at how I looked. There's always one really vivid moment that I remember as a child, and I was sitting there with my top off on my sofa. Obviously, my parents were around and my sister, so I felt quite comfortable. And my parents had some friends coming around, and I didn't know, and they just pulled up. And I remember I ran upstairs because I had to go quickly put a top on. And that was the first time when my parents really realised how bad I felt about how I looked. And my dad's quite a stern businessman. And he's like, what are you doing? He's quite a stern man. Sit down. You look fine. Don't be ashamed of how you looked. And it turned into a big argument. I was crying and then eventually just ran upstairs.
How old were you?
I think that was about 11 or 12.
Right. And you've sent me pictures.
Yeah.
Because you've inspired me a lot because I started my own fitness journey.
Yeah, you've done amazing over the last couple of years.
Yeah, about 18 months ago. And you sent me pictures of you before. And we're like, you got this, bro.
I know, yeah.
And then we've obviously trained together. We've gone down to the gym together.
Yeah.
We're going to be training after this.
Which I'm very looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that now. I'm looking forward to that.
But you're like a pro boxer now, though. So
well, I wouldn't say pro, but I'm trying. Yeah. You were at that fight, weren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you think? What did you think of my fight?
It was amazing. I think you absolutely dominated it, which I kind of knew you would. And it was an amazing sort of atmosphere.
It was.
Just great to have so many property people together because, as you know, I'm in property as well. Mate, it was a lot busier than what I thought it was going to be. Yeah. It was a huge success.
It was. It was busier than most pro fights.
I know, it's insane. But again, that's hats off to you and your promotion skills and marketing. And both of you.
Yeah, you did well.
But yeah, I think you've done absolutely amazing. So yeah, absolute inspiration.
We're going to get onto property because I know you're also big into property and you've done
I want to say big.
Well, how many properties?
You're big in the property game.
How many properties do you own?
We've got 14 units at the minute.
That's pretty big.
It's baby steps, but I want to grow, and that's where.
That's how I feel in fitness. You see, Yeah. So it's all relative, but it's just interesting that you do property though because you're on the TV a lot. So congratulations on what you've done there.
Thank you very much.
Recently in the Gladiators.
Yes, the hit show.
I love that show.
It's been absolutely amazing, and I don't know if you watched the original one when you were a kid.
Yeah, of course. Wolf and everybody.
I absolutely loved it, and again, I've got a very vivid memory of when I was younger. I used to be obviously overweight, and I used to draw pretend abs on my stomach to try and look like a gladiator, and then pretend to play duel with my sister in the living room. So it's amazing how life works, because if you'd have told that kid, you're going to be a gladiator 20 odd years later, I'd have been like, no, like I eat a bag of Haribo every day. I have McDonald's and KFC 4 or 5 times a week. Like that's never going to happen. And then, lo and behold, hard work, dedication, surround yourself with good people, and then here I am today.
That's inspiring.
And I really want to use that story to inspire kids in the next generation who are watching the show. Because I think it's very easy to look at me now and think, oh, he's genetically gifted. He's always looked like that. He's had an easy ride. Whereas my story shows that I was once the complete opposite of how I am now. And I want to show all the kids out there that if you work towards something, you can achieve anything in life.
Yeah.
So I really want to use that story and sort of get the nation healthier. And we have a big issue with obesity in the world. I really want to try and tackle that as much as possible.
What do you think about financial literacy in schools as well? Because that's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
I find it in the same way that you might find it shocking that there's so little around fitness and health and nutrition. I find it shocking that there's just nothing in schools about financial education.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because when you go out to the real world, then you're kind of lost.
Yeah.
And luckily, I've been surrounded by my dad, who's a very good businessman, very successful. So I've managed to learn and pick up stuff through him. And that's how I got into property.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you're pretty much struggling. So I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So talk to me then, if someone's listening to this and they're not happy with themselves, I talk mostly on this channel about finance, and we're going to get to what you've done in property, but like they're not happy with themselves in the way that they look, their confidence, they're overweight, and they think, I'm inspired by people like you, Zack. What are some of the steps that you can take? When I used to feel that way, and I was like, oh man, I'm fat, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm an all or nothing person. Is that the way to go about it? Or is it?
No, you don't have to be. I'm very much like that as well. And I think people who have achieved a certain level that like we have, you have to be that sort of way inclined, I think, because for me, when I was peaking CrossFit, I was training 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. And you've got to be selfish, because there's times where my family are like, do you want to come out for a meal? And I'm like, no, because I've got to eat this certain food and then I've got to train the next day.
Yeah.
So to get to that sort of level, you've got to be kind of obsessed.
Yeah.
Because you want to achieve your goal so badly, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of sacrifices. But you don't have to go that all in. The hardest thing is starting. That's always the hardest thing is just getting into the gym, finding an exercise class, finding a routine, and just starting that journey. And I've always got a saying when I sort of telling people to get into fitness is run your own race. And I think that's really important, especially in today's age with social media. It is so easy to compare yourself to other people. So you could start a fitness journey and you could see someone else on Instagram start the fitness journey and they're achieving their goals a lot quicker than you are. That can really demotivate people and sort of derail them, and it'd be enough to stop them on that journey. But everyone's so individual. Everyone will achieve their goals at different rates. That's why it's so important to not judge yourself on anyone other's success. But I get a lot of people come into my CrossFit gym and they'll come in and they'll see all the sexy CrossFit moves, the ring muscle ups, the handstand walks, snatching decent amount of weight. And they come in and they say, oh, I've seen you on Instagram. I want to do some ring muscle ups. And they'll try it for 2 weeks. And then they stop coming.
I want to do ring muscle ups. That is my goal.
It's a cool thing.
But the thing is, I know that in order to do muscle ups, I know that first I need a different goal.
Yeah, you need to.
My first goal was I need to be able to do one good straight pull up.
Yeah.
Then 5.
Yeah.
Then 10.
Yeah.
Now I can almost do 10.
Yeah.
Slightly cheating on the last 2, maybe.
Yeah.
But almost. Now I'm like, okay, now I want to be able to do 20.
Yeah, exactly.
When I can do 20 dead pull-ups just straight, then I might think, okay, maybe I can
so
now
you've got
thinking about
little goals along the way to the big main goal.
Yeah.
But they'll see me on social media and they say, oh, they see me doing loads of ring muscle ups. They want to come in and do a muscle up within a couple of weeks.
Bro, when we was in the gym, me and you were literally, you were like giving me the circuit, the workout. We're going to do this, then this, then this, then this. Then we're going to do some press-ups. Okay, cool. I'm doing press-ups. Look over at you. Doing press-ups on your head, bro.
Handstand press-ups. Yeah.
And the whole gym was looking at you like, who's this dude?
Yeah.
You're there just doing, and I think I can't remember, I think you must have done probably 100.
So yeah, my max set of that unbroken is 42.
In one go?
Yeah. Which sounds a lot, but within CrossFit terms, it's not great because I'm
Didn't
a
you
very
tell me
heavy
that
athlete.
that was your weakest point
when
you did a competition, so then you made it your strongest or something like that?
Yeah.
What happened?
So I qualified, well, again, it's the Open, 2019 this was. I had a great season in 2018. I was one of the top 30 in Europe. So the next season, I really wanted to qualify for the CrossFit Games, and that was my goal. But again, the Open comes around, so we've got 5 weeks, and it is one of the most stressful 5 weeks because if you're ill for 1 week, your season's over. If you have one big bad workout, your season's over. So within the Open, because there's so many people competing, 15,000, you've got to be pretty much top 15 in every single workout to be in with a chance of winning the UK's fittest title. So the first 3 weeks, I was first, and second. So 3 weeks are gone, only 2 weeks left. I've got some really good movements coming up. Week 4, it's the first year they brought out strict handstand press-ups. And I'm a very big athlete compared to most CrossFitters. CrossFitters normally are about 5'8", 85, 90 kilos. That's the perfect size. So for me, I'm 6 foot. I was 98 kilos at the time. Never done strict handstand presses before. They came up. The workout comes out Thursday night. I normally perform it Friday. You have between Friday and Monday to do the workout. Did it on Friday. Absolute meltdown. I had a horrendous score. There was people in my gym who come 2 or 3 times a week who thrash me just because they're light and they're really good at handstand press-ups. And I was like, I'm in trouble here. Like, this is enough to prevent me from going to the games. I thought I was going to qualify for the games. I did that workout 5 times over 3 days. I did it Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Every time I got a worse score, but which was just like so.
You're getting tired, though.
It was just, yeah, but I just kept going and going because I knew if I get past this, I've achieved my goal of qualifying for the games. It's been a 6-7 year journey of achieving this. I came first, second. In that 4th workout, I came 168th in the UK.
Oh, that was your Achilles heel.
Yeah, so after that, I knew my season's over. I can't qualify for the games. Week 5 comes up, and I was like, whoever wins this open, I want to prove to them that they've only won it because of handstand press-ups. So I could have easily have just even sat the open off and not even done the 5th workout. But I came back, I won the 5th workout, and ended up coming 18th in the UK overall.
Very good.
But I was first, 168th. So overall, that put me 18th, but it was that one exercise that cost me.
Yeah.
So then I hammered that exercise 4 times a week. I was relentless with it. And then the next season, 2020, when I qualified for the games, a workout with that movement came up again, and I managed to win it in the UK.
Solid, mate.
So I just hammered it. And to the point where people are like, why are you doing handstand press again? Like, this is the 4th time you've done them.
What is it that motivates you? Is it like winning something, or is it...
I've had very different motivational goals over my career. The first one was just qualify for the games. There's only, I think, 5 male individuals who have ever qualified for the games individually from the UK. And for me, to show that someone my size can qualify for the games was a really big deal for me. I remember when I started my CrossFit journey, some guy laughed at me. He was like, you'll never be a good CrossFit athlete, you're too big. And that literally resonated in my mind, and that did not move out of my mental.
You just like proving people wrong?
Yeah. And I was like, I will show you that I can do it.
Yeah.
And I just hammered gymnastics. I worked so hard in fitness. So for me, qualifying for the games was my main goal. And then when I eventually qualified in 2020, I didn't get to go because of COVID, which was really frustrating. And now I've got a daughter, she's 1 year old, and that really does change your mental outlook on everything. And now my drive is just to give her the best life possible. I've retired from CrossFit now. Gladiators is like my next move in my next career. And it's nice because CrossFit is a brutal sport. It's so tough on your body. There's so many different movements you've got to learn. I think in my last season, I had 3 cortisone injections just to get me through the season. So now it's nice to not wake up in pain every day. Yeah. And just enjoy.
And be a gladiator.
Be a gladiator, which is...
It's like you are a superhero.
Oh, to kids, it's huge. And I think because I know what it feels like to be unhappy in yourself, it's such an importance for me to try and make sure no kid feels like that in the UK. And obviously that's a real big task. But there's no better position to be than to be a gladiator, because we are like superheroes to the kids. And yeah, it's such a passion of mine to try and sort health and nutrition in the UK. Nutrition is such an overcomplicated thing in the UK. Obviously, it's a business and people try and sell you all sorts of different plans and all sorts of different supplements and things like that. And I think we just need to simplify everything and just get kids eating basic healthy food and just teach them some basic nutrition lessons. And what not better way than the gladiators telling them.
Right.
Because they listen to everything we say, and we've got such a important role, I think, to play as being a gladiator. Not just providing entertainment for the kids and the adults, to also educate them as well. Because kids are asking me, how do I train? They're interested, what do I eat? How do I recover? And I don't think they'd be asking those questions if gladiators wasn't around.
I agree. I think the best way to help people just in general, especially kids, is being a role model.
Exactly.
Even my kid, my little boy, when I was overweight, he asked me one day, he said, why have you got such a big belly?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what can I say to him?
Yeah.
Because I eat too much.
Yeah.
Then I'm saying it's fine. But now he copies me. He wants to box. He wants to train.
Yeah.
He sees me recovering in my hot tub swim spa after workout. Oh, can I come in? Nah, mate, you got to work out first.
Yeah.
You don't get this without that. Okay. And then he'll go and
go
do stuff,
and making it enjoyable.
Now I'll be telling him, eat your vegetables, it makes you strong.
Yeah.
And he wants to be strong. He wants to be like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he sees me taking my health and fitness seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably a big, and it's the same with finance. If you're complaining about money, and saying to your kids stuff like, well, money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Then they're going to grow up with a warped view around money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's making it enjoyable. It's making them know the benefits of exercise and eating healthier. And it's also not getting across that you don't have to eat 100% of the time healthy. That's also not what I want to advocate, because that's never going to last. And your childhood should be enjoyable. You should be able to have treats and things like that. So it's cool. I always try and advocate an 80-20 balance. Like 80% of the time, eat healthy, exercise, and this applies to adults as well. But then 20% of the time, enjoy yourself. Go out for meals. If you want some desserts, have desserts. You don't have to go 100% 24/7, because that's never going to last. It's not going to be sustainable. So it's just find that balance of eating healthy majority of the time, enjoying the process, and then that way you'll stick to it and you'll have longevity in it. So again, that's the message that I want to get across.
I think that's great, man. So of all the investments, why is property the most attractive to you? Or is it even? I don't know.
It is. Well, yeah. Again, that definitely stems from my dad. He's always been successful in business. He's always drilled into me that property is a great way to invest.
That's good.
I like the idea of you're investing in an asset that's appreciating over the years, but then you also can get a decent cash flow as well.
Do you know what though? People don't seem to realize this. It's so basic. Bitcoin, gold, silver, all these investments, they're not giving you any income.
No, yeah.
It might hold its value, maybe. But I personally think that property, even if there's a World War III, what's going to be more valuable? Land and property, or gold?
Yeah.
Property?
And you get a lot of people saying, oh, what about if it has a crash? But a crash doesn't really apply. It's not going to change your rental income that often.
No, it's not.
If it depreciates, you just wait for it to go back up.
Right. You only lose if you sell.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, if anything, from my experience, when house prices are dropping and there's a recession, more people want to rent. And then rents are stronger than ever.
Yeah.
It's like now, property prices are ropey and they're dropping and dipping and correcting themselves in some areas, but rental market is absolutely mad.
Yeah, it's booming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've always, and I really enjoy it as well. I did your courses a couple of years ago.
I think it was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did one on holiday. I remember I was on holiday in Greece, I think it was. Just sitting in the sun, just bashing them out. And I remember, it was like the basic course about just property in general. I can't remember what it's called.
Foundations of Property Investing. And I think you did the Buy Refurbish Finance Masterclass.
Yes,
yeah.
And I remember you gave an analogy of people who never actually do anything. And I'm very much a person where once I got my eyes set on something, I'd go for it. I got into property over about a year or so. I bought 4 houses. Looking back now, I definitely could have done it better, because it's just standard buy-to-lets. And you've got different strategies like service accommodation and HMOs. But I think it's all a learning curve, and I wouldn't change it because I enjoyed it. I learned from that process. But going forward now, I know there's a lot better ways to get better cash flow.
What about this apartments that you've got?
Yeah, so again,
what are the figures?
My dad, he bought, I think it was a 2-bed flat and a warehouse, converted it into 8 flats.
Is this one you've done with your dad?
Yes, yeah. So my dad started it, and then I came in when I was getting into property. And it was really good sort of learning curve, because it was like a mini development.
Nice.
Lots of errors were made, which obviously is going to be our first development, but it came good. And now we're just going through a refinance process to pull some money out and then to go again. But again, even the refinance process is a huge learning curve. It took so much longer than what we thought it was going to take.
Yeah.
But again, I really enjoy the setbacks, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow.
Yeah.
So it's all just a learning curve. Note it all down and make sure we don't make those mistakes again.
Absolutely.
But absolutely love it, and I'm really passionate about property.
And you're renting those out then, are you now?
Yeah, all fully rented.
Great.
Yeah, so again, the rental market is huge in Leicester. It's really popular.
Yeah.
Selective licensing, that was something that I learned about, which was absolutely killing.
Why, you had to pay for licenses?
Yeah, we're in the selective license area. Again, going forward, making sure we're not in those selective license areas is probably something that we're going to be pretty mindful of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bit of a sting.
How much time do you spend on the property business? I imagine not that much.
Not much, because I always trying to make it passive.
Yeah.
So all the properties we've got at the minute, I don't have anything all managed. So you just see that cash flow coming in, which is really nice. I've got so much going on with filming for Gladiators. I'm still training twice a day, because that is what I've done for so long, and I found it really hard not to do that.
Yeah.
So when I retired, I was like, oh, right, I can chill. I'm going to train once a day, 6 days a week. That lasted for about a week. And I was like, I can't do it. I just need to I need to keep that discipline in me. I think it's just so ingrained in me as a person. So I still train twice a day, 3 to 4 hours, 6 days a week. My training's a little bit different now because I add a little bit more of gladiator element in, like rock climbing and agility work, which is nice. And then we have a mixture of doing TV appearances, general corporate appearances, things like this, so podcasts and school talks, and then juggling that with a 1-year-old and property. It keeps me very busy, but I really enjoy it. And I think if you enjoy something enough, you'll make time. And I think when people say they don't have enough time for X, Y, and Z, you can always make time.
I mean, what I say to most people in your sort of situation about property is when they've got, you know, something really going, like you have with gladiators and this, and you've been men's fitness,
men's health cover model. Yeah,
on the front cover.
Yeah, GQ cover model, dude, online edition.
You're just an all-round winner, bro.
I've done a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but what I was saying is, even though I'm like a property teacher as well as a property investor, and I help people get into property, I would say to someone like you and generally, same 80-20 rule, spend 80% of your time and your focus on your gladiators, your TV stuff, because that's fast pound, but then just strategically invest it into property.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Everything I do and all the money I make is always geared towards putting it into property. Mm-hmm. And that's always what my dad's installed in me. Make your money, property. Make your money, property.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the point where I can transition to where that property's bringing enough so I don't have to rely on sponsors or things like that. And that's the transition I want to go over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's something that I generally enjoy.
14 units, you're getting close.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think my mentality is that I always want more. And sometimes most times it's a good thing. Sometimes it can be a bit of a setback as well because you don't know where to stop. You don't know where to sit back and enjoy it.
When you're number one.
Yeah, but then I'll always want something else. In my eyes, there'll always be someone who's ahead. There always will be in everything you do. You might be the best in the UK, but there's someone potentially better than you in America or Australia. There's always someone out there who's better than you. I think that's what's allowed me to achieve what I've achieved. Even when I was full-time athlete, and I think this is what really separates me between me and any other CrossFitter in the UK, I was very, very aware that I need to do stuff outside of just being an athlete. I can't just go to the gym, focus on training, and that's it. I've got to be mindful of my social media. I've got to be doing other stuff alongside being an athlete in case I get injured and sponsors drop me within a couple of months.
Yeah.
So I've always been very fortunate of growing a social media base, investing in different areas, trying to set up different businesses while still being an athlete. And again, that's done me very well. And like I said, I think I've achieved a lot in my life.
What do you do when you're training then? Are you doing like one cardio and one lifting?
So I do a cardio session in the morning, pretty much every morning. And then in the afternoon, I'll do sort of like a bodybuilding style session or a strength and gymnastics session. And then I'll add like rock climbing in for gladiators, agility work, go down to the pitch and do some rugby drills, that sort of stuff. So it's very varied, but I like being functional. And obviously, as a gladiator, we are the best of the best in our field. So you've got to keep up that element of training.
It's mad how agile you are when you're so big.
For a big guy, yeah.
What do you weigh?
106 now.
106 kilograms.
Yeah, so I can still do 30 bar muscle-ups unbroken, still do sort of 20 odd ring muscle-ups unbroken.
Incredible.
Yeah, my 5K PB time was 19:11. Roughly now it's probably about 20 minutes. But again, for someone my size, it's quite good. I don't know if you've heard of High Rocks. Have you seen High Rocks at all? Like functional fitness racing?
Oh, I'm not sure.
It's a huge competition that's going around at the minute. It's selling out everywhere. And it's 8K of running with a station in between. So you do a 1K loop, 1K row, 1K loop, 1K ski, 1K loop, 100 wall balls. And that's what I'm getting into now, which I'm really enjoying. So I've got one of those in about 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Which is good. So always looking for new challenges.
What do you think's next then? What do we expect to see coming up? You've got the Gladiators now, which is absolutely epic.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's been such a hit. So
how many views is it getting?
It was averaging around 8 million a week, which is for this day and age when you've got things like YouTube, Netflix is massive.
You're getting stopped a lot now around.
Yeah, it gets stopped lots in streets. And one of the best feedbacks I got from Gladiators is that it's bringing good family TV back together. So this day and age, sometimes you've got kids on their iPads or watching YouTube, things like that, and then the parents will watch something else. Where Saturday Night TV and what Gladiator's done is bringing the family to sit down together and watch a show for an hour and just generally enjoy it as a family. And I think that's a huge achievement that we should be really proud of the show. So hopefully that lasts for many years, lots of different appearances, and see where that takes me as being a TV personality, and then growing that property side and following people like you and just seeing the best ways. And I've got so much more to learn.
Why did you choose me of all the property educators out there and the investment channels?
I found you on YouTube. Yeah. And I just liked your style, just love how honest you were about certain things, because you put on stuff that doesn't always go well, which I think is a really important sort of side of property that people need to learn. Just got good vibes and enjoyed watching your videos. So I watched so many of your videos. Well, and I was like, right, I need to do some courses.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you did. And it seems to be paying off. And it's great to take care of yourself physically, also to have a good, thriving business.
Yeah.
To be winning competitions, your TV appearances, and to be investing in property. I just thought, can't not have you on a Winners on a Wednesday episode to share about what you've done.
I've watched so much of your Winners on Wednesdays as well, and some inspirational stories, and it's great to see some people who never thought they'd be in that situation ever.
Yeah.
And they leave their jobs and they make a huge success of it, and I think it's absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely going to continue to watch your journey.
I appreciate it, man. And
get as much advice as possible.
It's probably time now for us to head down to the gym and get a good session. So
yeah, what are we doing?
Let's go figure it out, my friend.
All right, let's do it.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Pleasure,
man.
Absolute pleasure.
Zach.
Thank you.